I'll get a. What is up, guys? Here with Leo and Preston. We're going to go through a little bit of a Champions League preview here. Going to have a little bit of fun. Leo, Preston, what's up, guys?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. Preston,
Howdy.
Leo and I are usually involved in this. We're happy you could join us. Talk a little Champions League.
I was involved in the UCL Preview from behind the scenes. I did provide notes for what that's worth.
Yes.
Leo was reading what I typed in at least like a third of the time. So
we don't need to see how the meat is cut. Okay. It looks like a nice steak. That's all we need.
Preston. We're already starting hot.
Hot already. I actually think the only reason Preston wanted to join this is because he is a Chelsea fan and Chelsea did win the Champions League. So, I mean,
that's
6
part of
times here, but that's neither here nor there.
What is that?
Anyway,
Michael Jordan shirt? What is that?
No, that's Jurgen Norbert Klopp. We give the full name for respect of the man, the myth, the legend. So anyway, we're going to jump in here. We're going to do a little draft. We're each going to pick one team per group. We're going to do a snake draft. It's going to be Preston, me, Leo, and then back the other way. And then we're going to rank each of the 8 teams in each pot. So Preston, you're first. Obviously, you're going to go with Lil with the first pick. So, I mean, I'll just put down Lil for you.
No, so we're picking one from each pot. That's what you said.
One from each pot.
You just said that.
Preston, this should be a 30-second pick.
Yeah,
for
Chelsea.
You for pot 1. Yes.
Nice.
Okay. I will be going with Man City.
I will be going with Bayern Munich.
Yep.
Bayern Munich. And you have another pick.
My next pick will
be pot 2. It's got to be pot 2 now.
It's got to be pot 2. The second pot 2 I'm going to choose is Liverpool.
Okay. I will go with PSG.
PSG's
pot 2. They didn't win the French league.
That just seems wrong. Yeah, you were saying this earlier that pot 2.
Yeah, pot 2 is better than pot 1, which we'll talk to.
P frozen.
You're P frozen? Wow. This is technical difficulties. So we'll talk through this. P is frozen. I already hate you so much, Leo. We're not going to discuss it. I mean, I gave Preston the first pick because I didn't want anybody to take Chelsea, but we don't have kindness here. This is not a kindness pod.
You thought about that before you picked Man City. I mean, I thought that you were going to leave that one to me. If you really wanted Liverpool, we should have talked about this.
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, I'm not as confident in Liverpool winning, and now we lose P. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Maybe Preston will come back, maybe not. Let's give. Where did Preston go? Let's give some thoughts while we have a little bit of time for Preston to maybe come back. What are some of your thoughts on pot 1? Who are you thinking? I mean, of course, PSG and Bayern look like, Man City and Bayern look like the 2 best teams in pot 1. I mean, it's good to see Inter Milan back. It's good to see Sporting and Lille as teams that won their league. Any other thoughts on pot 1?
I mean, Chelsea's always a silent sleeper when it comes to Champions League. We saw them, win it all last year. So I still don't believe in them, and I think that's the idea. That's what people think about them too. Except for the Chelsea fans. Only the Chelsea fans believe they can do it again. I think that with Lukaku, they have a better chance than they do last year. So every day I'm switching my opinion on Chelsea, but they're definitely somebody to look at.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you. They are a sneaky team. I'd love to see how Lukaku does because he didn't do great with Inter in the Champions League last year. Of course, he's a game changer for Chelsea. But I mean, Villarreal, not great. Inter has had a tough offseason, losing Hakimi, losing Lukaku, Sporting. I mean, they kind of are what they are. And then Lille, I mean, they too have lost a ton. So I said it before. I think the pot two is the stronger pot. I mean, like when you just look at those teams, like just I know that we don't want to get caught up in UEFA coefficient, but that's like the numbers next to the team. There are 5 teams in pot one that are beneath 100 in the UEFA coefficient. Everybody in pot two is over a 90. So, I mean, you have everybody other than Sevilla has won a Champions League, and Sevilla has won a ton of Europa Leagues. I'm sorry, PSG has not won a Champions League. I apologize. PSG has not. But, I mean, there is just so much tradition in pot two. I mean, you have former, pretty much outside of Sevilla, again, pretty much everybody is a recent league champion. Just strong teams, and probably outside of Bayern and Man City, everybody in pot two is a favorite on the teams in pot one.
Absolutely agree. Preston came back from the dead to say the show must go on and that he wants to choose Manchester United as his next choice.
He is picking. Well, wait. Let's see him back from the dead.
Oh, here we go.
He's
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we need you to get revived.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Of course.
Oh
This is how
boy.
you do a professional podcast. You have somebody that has internet issues. Did you get my pick for Man U that I typed in?
So I see we're gonna take Man U, and then
Okay.
you have the first pick in pot three.
Okay.
Are we putting money towards this?
We will discuss that offline. Gang Pods does not endorse gambling. I do not yet have sponsorship sponsors, investors.
Yeah, give me Leipzig here. Maybe Red Bull will sponsor us for that.
Leipzig. I will be going with Ajax. Leo.
Porto, please.
You'll be going with Porto, and then Leo, you have.
I think Atalanta is actually favored out of that group, are they not?
Preston. That will be the next discussion.
Oh, sorry.
You have pot, and then you have pot four. This is why Preston can't be in this. He doesn't understand that we have organization and we have scheduling and we stay on task all the time.
Okay, I'm reading. I'm trying to read.
Like a lot of
I
the
pick
reasons
now.
why I shouldn't be on here.
No, Leo, your pick, please.
We're not waiting on me. We're waiting on Leo.
For pot four.
I chose
You have a pot four, yes.
Man, I want to go with Atlanta. Okay. Next one for me will be AC Milan.
Easy. That was an easy one. After my heart got ripped out of my chest, I'm going to rip Preston's heart out of his chest, jump on it, and make him cry and pick Wolfsburg.
Yeah, that's the right pick, though. They're probably the best team out of that group, not only in my opinion, but in reality. I guess I'll take Dynamo.
Kiev?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like they've got a little history, maybe.
Dynamo Kiev. Their home stadium is the site of the Sergio Ramos massacre that should have been brought up in The Hague on one Mohammed Salah. So they are the last pick of the draft. So to recap here, Leo went with Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Porto, and Milan. Preston went with Chelsea, United, Leipzig, and Dynamo Kiev. And Chris Zolli went with City, PSG, Ajax, and Wolfsburg. Fun facts here. Preston picked 2 teams that have won the Champions League, including the holders in Chelsea. I picked 1 team that won the Champions League in Ajax, while Leo, all 4 teams that he picked have lifted the Champions League. 6 for Bayern, 6 for Liverpool, 1 for Porto, 7 for Milan. Intriguing.
You got to pick better, guys.
So Leo picks the teams that know what they're doing in Europe. So talking about teams that know what they're doing in Europe. I know that the draft was fun, but let's try to do a little tiers for each pot. So for pot 1, who are we thinking is the top side? I am going to open the discussion and say Man City. Any arguments to that?
When you say top side, what do you mean?
Best team in pot 1.
No, I agree with that. I think I agree with that, actually. Listening through what we drafted, I was trying to keep track of that, but obviously my temporary disconnection kind of threw me for a loop. I like Chelsea. I'm a Chelsea fan, but I think your draft is actually the strongest, Chris, for partly for that reason, because you got City and what was your second one?
My second one was Paris Saint-Germain.
That's right.
Messi.
Yeah, you got PSG. Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be City or Chelsea. Bayern has history, obviously, like recent history, but I don't know if that's going to continue. I've been watching Bundesliga and what's happening there. Lost that first match to Monty's Gladbach, and
They drew,
I think that
but yeah, same difference.
it's a loss for them.
Okay. I mean, I don't know in Germany if I would put that down as a loss, considering when worse comes to worse, they'll just buy their competition. But anyway, Leo.
Well, that's what they're going to do. Yeah.
Leo, your thoughts? You know what? There's 32 teams to go through. Let's try to not do like 5 minutes per team, or we will be here until the draw at 12 o'clock. So second best team, are we going to go Bayern, or are there any rogue shouts for Madrid or Chelsea? Bayern, second best team?
Bayern, first team. Second team, City. Chelsea, the third team for me. Unless the Ronaldo thing happens.
Well, we're not talking about that, but yes, Cristiano Ronaldo is very strongly linked with Man City. I would agree with 1, 2, 3. I do think Chelsea are the third best team. Madrid are easily fourth. I don't think that there should be much of an argument there. Fifth is between Villarreal and it probably is Villarreal, because Inter Milan is kind of mid right now. They're kind of, they lost Lukaku, they lost Hakimi, but of course I'd still put them 6th. I put Sporting 7th, Lille 8th, because yeah, they won the French league, but then they do nothing for me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Pot 2 obviously is quite a bit more delicioso. PSG's the best team in pot 2. I mean, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I'm also not blind. PSG is the best team. Again, never won the Champions League though, but I mean, they were unbelievable. And then they added the best player that's ever played the game. So they're going to be even more unbelievable. Second best team is where you really have the argument between
United.
a bunch of teams. Obviously, you're going to put your United. I mean, United, Liverpool, Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus are such a cluster for the second best team. I think that the two Spanish teams might be a step off. And then if Juve lose Ronaldo, then I don't even know what's going to go on with them.
That's why I didn't pick them. I had the toughest spot here because y'all took PSG and Liverpool. So
Yeah.
I had the third pick in this group, and it's tough. I took United for the same reason you just said. And Juve, obviously the knowledge of the Ronaldo possible move.
Mhm.
Dortmund will be fun to watch, but they're second to last in this group probably. So
Yeah. So I think that that's a good way to go through. Dortmund 7, Sevilla 8.
Dortmund's also a sleeper though. You gotta watch.
They are. That's why I said I am more interested in all of the teams from pot 2 than basically anyone in pot 1 outside of Bayern and City. And even Bayern and City, I don't know if City's better than PSG. And I don't know if Bayern is better than, I know Leo said United were the second best team, but what's weird is he drafted Liverpool ahead of United. So consistency is key. So I'm going to go by
I agree
Leo.
though. Like Leo was saying, Dortmund's kind of a sleeper team to watch. I mean, I'm just looking at this. They could finish 7th or they could finish like 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pot 2 is basically a smaller Champions League all in its own. That's going to be a fun pot to watch.
Yes. That will be quite the interesting pot. So I'm going to go.
Good pot.
I'm going to go PSG, Liverpool, United, Madrid, Juve, Barca, Dortmund, Sevilla, because I don't really believe in Barcelona at all. They lost Messi. They have all fucked up finances. Madrid is kind of all over the place. But again, I say that where Madrid, where did I just say 4th? If they get Mbappe in the next week, forget it. I don't think that, and by the way, I don't think that moves PSG off from the top spot. I think with or without Mbappe, PSG should still be considered the favorites for the Champions League. But if Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, then I'd probably put them as like the 2nd or 3rd favorite.
Can I ask you an opinion question before we move on to that? Just because let's pretend Mbappe does go to Madrid. As a Liverpool fan, are you hoping that happens because you feel like that would give Liverpool a better shot possibly at taking the number 1 spot there out of that group? And like, would
No.
for a little more parity across the board? Would you want that? Or?
I'm not going to get that deep into it, but what I think is Mbappe goes to Real Madrid. Real Madrid will have to move someone because they can't have Mbappe. For me, get Vinicius Jr. as a Liverpool. I'm all for Madrid get Mbappe. Of course, I'd rather Liverpool just say, fuck it and get Mbappe. But if they don't, let them get Mbappe. Let Liverpool get Vinicius Jr., who, by the way, is not on crazy wages. He's on like $200K a week, which again is crazy wages, but relatively it doesn't knock their wage structure all the way off. Mbappe would. And
because Junior doing good at Liverpool.
You said you do or don't?
I do not.
You do not. Okay. I mean, I don't really have any belief in that fact, considering every single attacking player that Klopp has brought in, he has taken them to another level. I mean,
but there's no space in it for him. I mean, I know we can.
He'll be a backup. He'll be Mane and Salah's back. There's technically no space for Diego Jota, and he scored 12 goals in 20 games.
Jota is better than Vinicius.
He also scored. I mean, he did score 2 goals against Liverpool in the Champions League, which again is tough to say because Taki Minamino looked great against Liverpool in the Champions League, and he's been kind of a passenger since. Klopp has also said that he really likes Vinicius. I think Vinicius is hardworking. He's going to, and I don't want to go too deep into this. Thank you very much, Preston, for starting this argument. But
you're the one that keeps going on about
he
it.
can also come in. He can also come in, and he has Brazilian support. He's got Firmino. He's got Fabinho. He's got Alisson. He's got that Brazil, and the Brazilians are tight. So he's going to come in, and he's going to have his Brazilian buddies, and it's just going to vibe well. So, long story short, Mbappe to Real Madrid would be fun. It would open things up more because if Mbappe stays at PSG, it's going to be a laugh. Everything. The French league is going to be a laugh. Champions League is going to be a laugh. It's not going to be fun to watch PSG. They're just going to blow the doors off everybody. As much as I dislike Real Madrid, I like it for parity. So moving to pot 3.
That was the short answer to my question. Do you like it for parity?
Yeah.
You asked as a
No,
Liverpool.
go. You're pot 3. Go ahead. Go.
You asked as a Liverpool fan. Okay, so pot 3. I kind of think it's pretty good as is. Porto, I know they didn't win the Portuguese league, but they make it to knockouts almost every year. Ajax are good, but not great. I might put Leipzig ahead of Shakhtar. Might put Atalanta ahead of Salzburg and Benfica, but how it is might be good as it is. I mean, I don't see that Zenit is going to trouble anyone. Salzburg will probably not trouble anyone. I mean, on top of the players that they've lost, they also lost their manager, Jesse Marsh. Atalanta is scary. Benfica is okay.
I literally have no comment on pots 3 and 4. 2 are really like the reason I hate watching the beginning stages of the Champions League. I'm only here for pots 1 and 2. Is that fair to say?
I mean, yes and no. There's some noteworthy teams in here. Leipzig isn't terrible. Ajax and Porto are pretty decent. I think that's your top 3: Porto, Ajax, and Leipzig, in no particular order. Atalanta, I think I read the odds on it. They were maybe had some bets headed their way too. But we talked a little bit, I think, right before this about Italy teams kind of being in the mud right now. So it's hard to say. They could play well, but maybe they're struggling too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can honestly see with the way things are going in Italy, Atalanta could win Italy. Yeah. I mean, especially if Juve lose Ronaldo, Atalanta could win the Scudetto. I mean, I don't know how much that'll do for them in Europe, but they can win the Scudetto. So let's just make it simple and to the point. Who in pot 3 would you see as most likely, just one team answer, most likely to win a knockout tie? So we're saying make to the round of 16 and then win a round of 16 and go to the quarters. Who in pot 3 would you see that the most from? Leo.
Porto.
Preston.
Probably Porto also. I picked Leipzig, I think. Not entirely sure why, but yeah.
And I would probably say Porto as well. And the only reason I say that is they've done it. They do it pretty much every year. By grit, by luck, by whatever. They find a way to make it out of their group, usually as the runners up, and then win a knockout tie. And then lose. I mean, they've lost to English teams, I think, each of the last 3, maybe even 4 years. No, the last 3 years. Whatever. it might be 3 out of 4. I know they've lost to Liverpool twice and they lost to Chelsea last year, but they always make it through.
And they got,
So
yes, Luis Diaz coming in hot from Copa America, Colombian, and I'm excited to see him.
Leo with his token mention of the Colombian national team on every pod. The last time he did that, he ruined Watford's entire season. So sorry for that, Porto. Same question, pot 4. I know that is considerably tougher because it's pot 4. But who in pot 4? Let me ask this. Rather than win a knockout game, who in pot 4 do you think has the best chance to make it out of their group? Preston, you first.
I picked Dynamo Kiev. They've got some history. Kind of the same story with AC Milan. You know, they're a name that people know just based on their success over the years. I read that Young Boys, I think, was winning some games in the Europa League. I saw that this morning. They were like second in their group there, but yeah, I guess Dynamo. That's why I drafted them. The team I hope though is Wolfsburg. You know, I like to pull for them, and I think they have some talent. They could be fun to watch. Kind of same as Dortmund. Could be fun to watch and could make some waves. So I don't know.
So we did a good job with answering the question of one team. Preston picked the entire pod. Leo, your one team that you think could make it out.
So I have a story on this, not just one team. Just kidding. I want to go with AC Milan, but the situation in Italy with their teams is not convincing me so I'm going to go with Dynamo Kiev as well.
AC Milan. It's AC Milan for me all day. We have yet to discuss, well, I mean, I say we have yet to discuss it, but we haven't really talked about pot 4 very much. I mean, Zlatan. The power of Zlatan compels. I like them. Of course, I picked Wolfsburg, but that was 99.9% just to piss off Preston. But yes, I do think that they have just enough to put in some good games. Really just depends on the draw. The draw is coming up here in about 90 minutes. But AC Milan is definitely going to put up big games. It's the first time back in the Champions League since I believe it was 2012. So they're very up for it. And I definitely could see them put in some strong performances. Outside of that, I mean, I see a lot of 3-pointers here. I mean, Besiktas, I'm not impressed. Kiev, I'm not impressed. Club Brugge, I'm not impressed. Young Boys, no. Malmo and Sheriff Tiraspol are cute stories, but yeah. Actually,
Leo's asleep now through the group 4 conversation.
Interesting thing that I will leave on because I said something about Zlatan. Every team that Zlatan Ibrahimovic has played for in Europe is in the Champions League, which says that he's also played for a ton of teams, but every team is in the Champions League. As I go to Malmo because he started at Malmo. Okay, so I will stop sharing. Any final thoughts? What are we looking for? What are we thinking about?
Closing thought, I hope I see a repeat, I guess.
Obviously.
I don't think it's likely, but dreams do come true.
I think we see a final of Manchester City versus PSG where Manchester City wins it all and Cristiano Ronaldo is the man of the match.
That is good. That is what we are here for. I can't go full hot take because, I mean, we don't know what the draw looks like. I do think that the English teams are so much stronger than everybody else. What I will say is the English team that goes that has the shortest time in Europe will be Chelsea. I don't see them even winning a knockout game. They will get a bad matchup and they will falter. Thank you. That is my hot take, but I do think that each English team will make it out of their group. And again, the thing is with draws, they could just get a crappy draw. They could get a crap draw. I mean,
Man United's not going to make it. That's a hot take on top of your hot take.
we're heating the hot takes.
It's a little spice.
We're putting the hot takes on top of hot takes, and we're steaming the takes here. Okay, well, that's interesting to see. And really, I know that I went on a hot take with Chelsea, but I just think they're happy with what they did. So that's just my.
We'll see, I guess.
Well,
What's the
we'll see.
Preston hot take? What's the Preston hot take?
Preston's hot take was that Chelsea was going to win it.
Oh, well, no, I said I want him to. I don't know if that's a hot take. My opinion is it's that, at least. That's what I hope happens. But yeah, I don't know. Liverpool could do well here. I'm not necessarily cheering for them to, but I think they could.
Yeah.
It all depends to how they draw, like you said. I mean, you could wind up with some crazy group that's got some of the better teams from the second pot and one of the really good ones from the first pot, and
Right.
it could be,
And
could
that
be a
could
real
be,
mess.
and that could tie into the Chelsea thought that I had. Pot 2 is stronger than pot 1. So if Chelsea get drawn with PSG, which was part of my thought, if Chelsea get drawn with PSG, don't win their group, then they have to play a group winner.
Yeah, but like inverse of that, you could end up with, let's say, Liverpool gets Lille,
Which is exactly what I'm saying, which is why I think that the English teams are going to go far. I don't think that there's anyone. Let's be real here. I was going to say, I don't think there's anyone in pot 2 that would scare Man City. And then I was going to say, oh, PSG, but we all know that Man City is not going to get drawn with PSG. They're going to somehow get drawn with St. Joseph's Home of the Blind, the Nuns of the Deaf and Decrepit, and
Panera Bread.
Yeah, those are the 4 teams that are going to be in their group. They're going to get me, you, and Leo against all 11 Man City teams. They're going to do that 5 times. Everybody's going to have a wank about how they score 6 goals a game, and then they'll lose in the quarters because that's what they do. But yeah, none of the English teams outside of Chelsea, I think, are going to have a terrible draw. I mean, of course, United could get Bayern or whatever, but I still rate most of them to go through. But anyway, we will see how this shakes out. We have an hour 20 before the draw comes through, and it was a good time here, and we'll get back at you guys later, okay?
Thank you very much.
Adios.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye-bye.